Hello, I want to talk to you today about transdermal magnesium and Epsom salts, bath flakes, other approaches, and what the difference is. Um, Transdermal magnesium is a way to heal the magnesium levels in the body, and the quality of that magnesium, the purity of that magnesium, the non-solvent extraction of that magnesium is going to be the game changer at a molecular level. So that's why industrial milk, pasteurized milk compared to artisan, Jersey raw milk, they're two different, totally different worlds. But we throw them all together, it's just milk. And we shouldn't, because there's a whole different reality going on here. And it's the same with magnesium. So we can take, chalk, electrify it, and flip it out, and with isotopes, and we can make it into some sort of magnesium oil through solvent extraction. And there's a lot of things we can do to convert and twist around things. But whenever we find something in its natural state, it changes everything, especially when it's not refined, it's pure as the way it is. It has a molecular stickiness. It has its intact chelation properties. And so this whole idea of kind of listening to nature and allowing that understanding and that purity to come through is part of the art of traditions, is part of this company. So not only with the glass bottles and everything else, but no endocrine disruptors and all the other things we're trying to put together, but just so you know that all things are not equal. Now, that being said, a lot of the problem with the Epsom salt movement in America is not a bad idea. It's a good idea because one of the major reasons, or even the bath flakes, like even magnesium bath flakes, you see a lot of this, bath salts and stuff like that, like these big bags of like salts. And if you could find just the salt itself, Celtic salt, yes, it's great, without all these crazy scents and all this stuff they put in there sometimes, which can, a lot of it's industrial. But when you can find something natural, yes. But the reason why those ideas are good is because the water is so bad. The water in the bath is so bad. It's filled with so many things, from chlorine to fluoride to endocrine disruptors, from all the medications that are not filtered out through municipal systems. There's just so much going on in that water that you need something to kind of heal it to a certain degree. So yes, those flakes are really just better for healing that water that you're going to be sitting in. I personally don't take baths anymore. I only take showers and fast ones at that. But this idea that these things can help with the water, so they're not bad things. One of the other things to remember is that when you take Epsom salt baths or these type of things, they're very exudatory. I mean, it's all about sweating, so you're getting the sweat out. And so that sweating process is an outward process. This is not a process to bring in magnesium. And so this helps with a kind of a superficial detox, yes. So they can help you detoxify the Epsom salts, this sulfate of magnesium or whatever can help you to detoxify through the skin certain elements. And it also helps purify the water. But it's not a source of your magnesium. It's not a way for you to get proper magnesium levels in your body. Not only that, this applies also to the magnesium flakes. When you take magnesium as flakes, it's the same idea. It's more like an exodus which is happening. And so this is good for surface level detox, some of the skin level detox, etc. But it's not going to go deep within the organism and help with the cellular level with the rest of the incoming type of magnesium that we're proposing, transdermal magnesium, outside of the bath, etc. So that's one thing. The other thing is that when you use Epsom salts are created from a layer in the earth just after, there's different levels of purification of minerals. And the Epsom salt is it's not contaminated, but it's attached to other elements naturally, like potassium, and there's different elements that are associated with it. So these block kind of like that chelation power. And if it's especially industrially made and, whatever processes they're using in there can also contribute to a lack of proper chelation. Now, the magnesium, transdermal magnesium, the Zechstein inside from the Bischofite found underneath the Zechstein Sea, in the Zechstein Sea, underneath Holland, which is now a petrified sea, I guess you could say, crystallized. This is the highest level of purity you can find. This molecularly has nothing else attached to it. The sulfate's not there, the potassium's not there, none of it is attached to it. It's more pure than carnallite and all these other minerals that come from the Dead Sea. It's like at a higher level. So it's stickier. It pulls out more toxins, basically. The other thing with flakes is the flakes are heated in order. Magnesium oil is the base product of these flakes. And then the flakes are created from that. So it's a derivative of that. So you take something natural, well, if it's ours, it's natural. But if it's not, it's probably been solvent extracted already, this type of brine. But then they run it through a machine and it heats it at 350 degrees and then creates these flakes. And then this floconation process, or whatever they call it, creates these flakes, and they have a much higher percentage of hydrochloric acid at this point. So they become less healthy, especially if you're using any of this stuff internally. And so more cumbersome to get the mineral through. And so what we're doing here is trying to propose a non-bath solution which can be used directly onto the skin. And so we avoid all of that. And we avoid the sudation process of sweating it out. And we're in a whole other world of getting it in there and then sweating it out. Yes, but once it's in there, And so that's why we recommend for sports to do it before or after your training, going outside of the sweating period. There's also, the reasons that you do it on a 4-month basis, and that you're always doing this is because it's helping to regenerate and saturate those cells and the skin and the derm. So a lot of doctors already know that the only real magnesium tests that work are the ones taken by the red blood cells in the skin and the derm. And so it's not dermal layer, but it's not, the blood is not the best way to test for magnesium deficiency. I mean, you can test for like a high level of pathology, but optimum levels are almost impossible to test through the blood itself. You have to use the skin, the red blood cells in the skin. And doctors know that, but how come that knowledge has not translated into transdermal understanding? Well, because transdermal magnesium doesn't have a copyright and you can't market it in that way. And so this is dangerous to the world of trying to keep control over things. So this is something you could check out. $12 a month, not expensive. We're the only glass bottle, real, non-generic, original source magnesium coming from non-solvent extracted source, which is only 95% of the market is solvent extracted. So you have a whole nother product in front of you in the bottle. So this is something to take advantage of. Check us out, theheartoftradition.com. Thanks.